Aloha and shalom, everybody. Shalom, world. We're here for the new moon activation, and it's the second new moon of the month, which occurs, I believe, every 29 months, and it's called a black moon. So here we are for this black new moon, our final activation of the Gregorian year 2024. It's like my cat stretches every time we get ready for the activation, and she just begins scratching. So like, listen for that. When you come to these activations, you'll hear her, I swear. Okay, so just setting up here as y'all tune in. Gonna shuffle the deck. And remember that the deck is like you. Each card is a different aspect of you. The deck is also like the collective consciousness, and each card is a different aspect of that whole. Each card represents a different archetypal theme or an archetype that is within you and within all things. Let me know in the comments where in the world you are tuning in from. I'm tuning in from the Verde Valley, Arizona. I hope everyone's having a wonderful season. Happy solstice. Cool. Phoenix in the house. Virginia in the house. So this is the new moon activation, meaning it's a new beginning, right? Think of the dark night sky like a fresh slate. We're going to inquire about the theme that we're stepping into now, newly stepping into. Wisconsin in the house. Feel free to share this video now while we're live with family and friends to get them in the portal. Maybe you know someone who could use an uplifting message. Get them in. Or feel free to share the recording afterward. It's, of course, as usual, going to also be loaded to Instagram and YouTube, Rebecca Magic, for anyone not on Facebook. We have Mount Shasta in the house. Okay. Good to see you guys. So just giving thanks in advance for this message that's about to come through, this little map or key so that we can move forward gracefully as individuals, but also as a unified collective consciousness. How can we get rid of all the extra stuff and zoom in on the important points so that we can focus on what really needs to be done, focus on the priority? And like nature, right? Nature uses the least amount of energy to get the most done. And that's why we do these activations, to get a map so that we can, like nature, use the least amount of energy to get the most done for the one. We have Quebec, Canada in the house, Tucson, Arizona in the house. All right, so just giving thanks in advance for this message. Beginning first with the tarot. Thank you, archetypes, faces of the one, for this message that's about to come through. The focus, which is also known as the challenge and gift. This one I just pulled is both the launching pad, where we're launching from, but it's also a hidden block. So when it's revealed, we can get an extra boost of energy as we step into this new cycle. And where are we headed? Of course, we can't predict the future. We're writing it right now. And I always say this, so if you've been here before, you know, we're not necessarily predicting the details of the future, but we are asking for what is the next part of the cycle, because we are a part of a greater cycle. And we can absolutely ask what is coming as far as the archetypal theme. And then the ally of the week as a Hebrew letter. All right, let's jump in. Thank you. Woo! Really feeling that new. So we start off with a major arcanum card. It's funny because with you guys, I often think, I better just get rid of the minor arcanum and work with the major here, but we're already doing that anyway a lot of the time. So the major arcanum are the major themes, right? The major secrets, the major cards and archetypes. We here have the Fool, the ultimate archetype representing new beginnings. You can see there's a 0 here. In my book, I explain that the 0 is more like a portal. It's not just a 0, it's a portal, it's a circle, it's also a perspective through which we can look at or perceive all of life. So we always want to begin with the Fool when we're stepping into any new experience, or even just having that Fool archetype activated within us so that each moment we can make the most of the potential within each moment as we remain activated in this archetype, because each moment holds an eternity. Each moment is a new beginning. So really, without having this archetype activated, we cannot access the deeper initiations within all of the other archetypes, or within all of the other opportunities in life that are represented by the other archetypes. So the Fool is really like the glasses that you want to perceive life through. So if this is the focus, the current challenge and gift, what does it mean? It means right now, look at where you're maybe paralyzed in fear. Where are you maybe feeling like, I can't even take the first step because I'm already focused on the upcoming challenges. I'm already focused on what hard parts I might face on whatever journey it is I'm going through. Remind yourself, there are always going to be mountains ahead. There are always going to be hardships. That's inevitable. But first of all, they are what shape us along the way. They are what makes the journey. So not only should we not fear them, we should expect them, and we should accept them with grace and the higher awareness that they are absolutely necessary steps along the way. And we will get there when we get there, and we will make it through. Okay, so look at right now where you may be paralyzed in fear and not willing to take the first step. And if you are already heading into a new beginning and you feel confident about it, reaffirm and reinforce this concept that I just explained. Okay, we're being asked right now to reaffirm that yes, every challenge I'm going to face is a necessary step along the way. And of course, like the Fool knows, we know because we are this, we have everything we need within us. That's why he's a minimalist. He's just carrying this little bag on his shoulder. We have everything we need within us to make it through each challenge along the way. And as you can see, the Fool is made up of the elements around them, right? You can see that the outfit is like a combination of all the elements around. Because you are, I am, we are one with all things. Everything we need is within us. All we need is already what we are, which is an elemental being, a soul embodied, wrapped up in the elements. And the elements will be all that we ever face, right? Because everything is made of them. And so we have within us the codes or the frequencies to unlock these doors as we approach them, these challenges along the way. So it doesn't matter if you're on the more challenging side of the Fool right now, or you're on the more of the gift side of the Fool, experiencing it positively or negatively. We are all experiencing the same theme, this particular archetype. So we can all affirm the positive qualities that the Fool brings to us. Every moment is a new beginning. Check out the white dog. God is my loyal friend, always at my side, always inside. I'll always be protected. I'm never alone. See the white rose? My purity, my innocence is my power and my potential and my protection as well, just like the dog. Right? My innocence is my armor. As long as I hold on to my innocence, my truth, which is the one truth, universal law, I will have both the logic and the intuition necessary to move through any situation along the journey. So all these affirmations that are associated with the Fool are what we want to affirm over and over right now, like a mantra, because we are all experiencing a new beginning in a very, very big way right now, because although it's every moment, right now in particular, we are needing to invoke these qualities. And this is not, against any religion, this advice, this truth. It is perfectly in alignment with whatever religion you practice, whatever you study. It's not contradicting any of them. It's simply saying that God is with you. The Creator is with you. And as long as you stick to your connection to the Creator, right? That's what the sun represents at its zenith, this white sun. It's that eternal light. In Hebrew, it's called the Ein Sof Or. As long as you are connected to that source, remembering that you are one with all of life, you will then be able to access the tools that have always been and will always be within you to move through any situation along your path. Okay, so whether you're afraid or you're excited about this new beginning, remember the Fool within you. And as you connect to the qualities of the Fool, you will move through with the most grace and ease. Because even though you may think you're confident in this new beginning, you may still have a lot of thoughts floating around, right? Like even having anxiety in an excited way can kind of put us off our center. It can kind of make our heart skip a beat a little bit, and we might miss something, or we might be thinking too much because we're so excited. Oh my goodness, we might say too much, or we might miss something along the way and not quite prepare in the necessary ways. Because remember, the Fool is not just someone who floats around and expects God to do everything, right? You know the famous story about God throws the life vest to somebody drowning, and the drowning person says, "Oh, well, God's going to save me." That is God, right? So the Fool really connects to that story in that you do have to meet God. God is you, right? You have to meet yourself halfway. This is why we also have the saying, God helps those who help themselves. So the Fool does do necessary preparations, but in more of a spiritual way, connecting to the true tools that are within. So again, even if you're on the positive end of this and you're excited for your new beginning and you're willing and you don't feel there's resistance, it can still help you to meditate on the qualities of the Fool by honing in on the particular frequency that you need to carry to be the most successful in this beginning. It will help you stay grounded, even if whether it's excitement or it's fear. They're both anxiety. They're both a lot of energy. So either way, wherever you find yourself on the spectrum of the Fool, if you invoke the Fool in a positive way and recite these affirmations that are connected to this archetype, you will be carried through with the most grace and ease, most proficiently, starting off on your best foot in a grounded way, in a way that is connected to nature, the cosmos, all of life, and therein lies your fullest support system. So you can look this up online or in a book. You can look it up in my book. I give at the end of every chapter for each archetype the affirmations that connect you to that archetype. So you can pick up my book. You can ask me for my book. You could write your own list. Tune in. Okay, so something that could be holding us back that now we're going to identify, and we're going to be like a slingshot. Pew! And propel ourselves forward. Whew. See, I told y'all. Another major arcanum card. We're working with the big energies here now and always, always. So this is the Hierophant. And this, I feel, was foreshadowed by the last line I said before I pulled this card. Look within. Look within yourself for the answers. That's what the Hierophant is all about. When you think Hierophant, think heart, H. Okay, the Hierophant is the true teacher within. Okay, 5, you could think of like the 5 points of the star and the center of that star. You are the star in this case, right? Like you have electromagnetism flowing out of your hands, your head, and your feet. So in your center, in your heart, is this true teacher, okay? So that's what you want to think of when you think of the Hierophant, the inner guru. So what is blocking you from connecting there? Because again, we want to free up our energy to move through this, to really access that new beginning most fully. So how are we maybe holding ourselves back from connecting to our intuition and our heart? The biggest message that comes in right now with this is, I'm just going to go for it, is that we are doubting ourselves and our ability to make the right choice? What is in the way of you making choices? What is in the way of you feeling confident enough to make the right choices? What is in the way of you connecting to your heart? Because if you truly connect to your heart, you will really feel it. And you will know that from that place of connection, you can make any decision and it will be the right one, because there is only one. There's only one path, even though it looks like this way, that way, this way, all these ways. If you're choosing from the heart, you're choosing the right one. So what is keeping you from connecting to your heart? What is keeping you from making decisions? If you feel stuck in your decision-making process, it's because you're not fully connected to your heart. Because when you're connected to your heart, you're connected to your truth and you're connected to the one truth, because that is where it resides, at your center. So when you can really connect there and really have a sense of truth, this guidance system activated, because that's what the Hierophant represents, is this heart's compass, then you will feel fully empowered to make decisions. Okay, so let's connect these right now. It's saying that pause for a moment. Whatever new beginnings you've got going on, say, hold on one moment. Imagine that new beginning. Say, hold on one moment. Let me close my eyes and go back within to the world of timelessness, where the heart lies, where the truth lives. And let me just reconnect to that heart's compass. Let me remember who I really am and why I'm really here and what is really meant to guide me. Universal truth. And once you reconnect to that space, that place within yourself, you can open your eyes and come back to this reality and be ready to step into that new beginning in any dimension, whether it's your mind, it's a thought program that you need to shift, or it's a way that you've been speaking and you need to shift that, or it's behaviors you've been doing that you need to shift. It's a new job, it's a new school, it's a new program, it's a new project, it's a new relationship. Maybe it's many new things, and it's likely what it is. And so when you approach these new situations in any realm, you will have more confidence once you do the work in reconnecting to your heart, reconnecting to the truth, because only then can you access the Fool, who is fully needed to put your best foot forward in any new beginning, right? Because if you're not connected to your heart, you can't be this Fool archetype in the light. If you're not connected to the heart, you can't fully remember who you are, remember your innocence, remember your truth, remember that you're always protected, guided, never alone. You're connected to all things. You see, when you're connected to your heart, if you, I don't want to say get rid of, if you work through whatever is in the way of you connecting to your heart, which is your truth, which is a remembrance of who you really are and why you're here, then you can access the Fool in the highest light, and then you can step onto any new path in the best way, with the most confidence, fully prepared, simply because you remembered that you already have it all within you. That's what the heart will remind you when you reconnect. And what we're moving toward. Okay, powerful energy. We have a 10. 10 of Wands. Wands is the suit of fire and spirit. And this is known as the Lord of Oppression, this card. Can you tell why? Carrying a heavy burden. But fire, carrying all these sticks, it's fire, it's temporary. It's a spiritual matter. So we're moving toward letting go of something heavy. What has been heavy for you? What have you not been able to put down because you're about to receive the opportunity to? That doesn't mean you will. The choice is in your hands. I'm going to imagine you will. I know you can. The choice is yours. Free will is the ultimate gift, so I'm not going to deny you that. But I'm envisioning you being successful in setting that weight down and flying free, so that we can together start a new cycle within the suit of Wands, meaning so that we can, as a collective consciousness, continue to evolve in the realm of spirituality, so that we can move away from this charlatanism, so that we can move away from spiritual hierarchy, for example, so that we can move away from spiritual bypassing, right? All of these things are involved on the path of spiritual mastery and spiritual evolution. If we want to continue to evolve on our own spiritual path and as a collective consciousness, we need to continue to turn the wheel, spin the wheel. And right now we have the opportunity for a 10, an ending and a new beginning in this dimension of the spirit realm. So envision yourself finally putting that thing down, because now is your chance, babe. All you need to do is connect to your heart and really activate that Fool who knows, who always knew and always will know, and is inside of you with this knowing that every moment is a new beginning. And right now, more than ever, you are supported to step into that new beginning. And as you do that, you've got to know that as you do that, effortlessly, the weight is going to fall away. And you're going to see real soon, you're going to enter a new beginning, and you're going to look back and go, whoa, wow. As a result of me connecting to my heart and being willing to activate the Fool and step onto this new path, all of the weight of the old, as a result, was set down. It melted away. I can fly free. So you may have been trying to put this thing down. You may have been working at it, but you have to work around it to make it happen. You've got to create the conditions so that it no longer is serving the one, so that the one, all of nature and the cosmos, just does it for you, because you've created the conditions by reconnecting to your heart and activating the part of you who creates a new beginning. Only when you can do that will the thing that you've been trying to make happen effortlessly. Because that weight, whatever that situation is that's creating that heaviness for you, it can no longer exist as you step onto this new path and create a new reality. It's not in alignment, so it will naturally fall away effortlessly. So that's what you're going to see. We're going to not have to be trying so hard. Instead, we're going to be reconnecting to our hearts, activating this Fool, trusting in the new beginning, not being paralyzed in fear at the inevitable challenges ahead, but embracing them, accepting them by, in our consciousness, inputting the program that I remember that all of those challenges are what get me there. Each of those challenges are necessary steps along the way. So I'm not going to fear them. I'm going to let them in. I'm going to roll my sleeves up and say, you know what? I know I have everything I need within me to make it through. So let's go. Finally, open the floodgates. And as you just worry about that, which actually feels good and is so freeing, the heaviness will melt away. And we have the Gimel as the ally of the week. And the Gimel is the third letter of the Aleph-Bet. And it's connected to the Empress, also known as the Unveiled Isis. And this is all about, first of all, knowing you are an abundant being. Knowing that you are a child of the earth and the stars, and that you have everything you need within you. Again, right? Reinforcing that archetype of the Fool. And because of that, you can give, you can give, you can give. And very clearly, I can see how this is connected to the rest of the activation here. Really take this one in. Giving is receiving. As you give, you simultaneously receive. Because if you really know and believe in the truth that we are one, then if you're giving, who are you giving to but yourself? And in fact, the Torah teaches this, and many religions and cultures and ancient scriptures contain this teaching, that for the light of wisdom to enter, you must be doing acts of kindness, right? Good deeds, or mitzvot. If you're putting into action the light of compassion, then as you're giving, you're receiving, because you are invoking that light from within you. It's radiating outward, and you're literally bathing in that light. And this process, y'all, It renews you. It reverses the aging process. It renews your cells, literally. It is the key to self-conscious immortality, which every secret society from the beginning of time has spoken about. And all you need to do is be compassionate. You already are, but you need to act on that light, to actually make something of it. And that's how we bring heaven to earth. So why do we have this archetype of charity as our ally? Because it's saying the more we give, the more we're going to connect to our heart. Because when we do acts of goodness, acts of loving kindness, we light up the heart. Because the heart, the center of truth, is the frequency of compassion, which is that white, infinite light of the Creator. Right? So when we do an act of goodness, and anybody can do that, it's the foolproof way of lighting up your heart, thus creating this energetic vortex that screams for your attention. You can't ignore it. No one can. It's such a brilliant light. It's the most radiant light that it's the best way for you to connect to it by activating it, by doing acts of loving kindness, right? So the Gimel is showing us as our ally of the week, when you give and when you do an act of kindness, that's the quickest way for you to receive that light and for you to connect back to your own heart and the truth that lives there. So that when you reconnect there and you remember who you are and why you're here, then you can go, oh yeah, activate full consciousness, step into the new beginning, watch all that heaviness melt away. You understand? So this is why the Gimel is the main ally this week. It reminds you, just keep giving. Be giving of your love, of all those virtues that the all-virtuous light of compassion encompasses. Keep giving in the form of that light of the Most High, meaning give your patience to the world, to yourself, to one another. It's all one, whether you give it to yourself or another. So make sure you check all the boxes, you know what I'm saying? Take as many opportunities as possible. So again, be virtuous to yourself and one another. Give the world your patience. Give the world your honesty. Give the world your kindness. Give the world your moderation, your groundedness. And as you Gimel, give that light, put into action the light that is already within you, it grows and it grows and it grows. But when you stop, it shrinks. It will diminish. It's always there. A little light, like a candle flickering. But my goodness, when you do those acts and you keep it going, it grows, it grows, it grows. And you, as a result, tune in to the truth that lives there. And you can't help but remember who you really are and what your mission is here, what all of our mission is here. And from there, the Fool, who is the main archetype, the one through which we must view all others, is activated. And we are ready to make the most of not only the new material beginnings that are being offered to you, but the potential that is being offered to you within each moment beyond the material realm. As your Fool activates, you subconsciously begin to access the light of opportunity in all dimensions, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. You effortlessly, as you activate the Fool, by way of connecting to your heart and your true self, you effortlessly access the light of all opportunities. Because you don't just access the opportunities in this material realm, you access the opportunities to fulfill what's called mitzvot, to fulfill good deeds and the commandments of the Most High. You begin to subconsciously receive and respond to positively the opportunities to insert virtuous light. My baby's waking up. I love you guys. Please share this. I'll see you next week for the next activation. You got this. We got this.